Hey everyone, this is Andy from GizChina, and today we're going to unbox the Jiayu S3 Plus. Now, this is only the second unboxing and hands-on that we've had with the Jiayu phone this year. They went a little bit quiet after the original launch of the Jiayu S3, but now at the end of the year they've released this, the S3 Plus. It's not an update of the original phone, it's a slight change to the original phone. There's a new processor and there's a new operating system. So let's take a look at the box and what's inside. So we've got the Jiayu box. It's a plain cardboard box with the green Jiayu logo on there. And on the rear we've got some really basic information. It simply tells us that it's got a Jiayu S3 Plus Advance inside the box, which is basically the 3GB version of the phone. We've also got a Mediatek MT6753 1.3GHz octacore chipset in here. The original Jiayu S3 had a Mediatek MT6752, so that's one of the changes between this and the S3. Now I'm just going to try and open this box. It's quite tight. Alright, so inside the box we've got a Jiayu user manual. Now this is in English and Spanish because this phone came from Jiayu, Spain. So we've got English and Spanish instructions there if you need them. Then we have the phone itself. This is the black edition of the phone. I believe there'll also be white and possibly even a blue model. So let's just take that out. And underneath we have a standard micro USB data cable, and we have an EU charger because this is obviously the European version of the phone. Alright, and that's it. There's no earbuds or anything else in there, just those accessories and the phone itself. So if you're familiar with the original Jiayu S3, this is not going to shock you at all. It is absolutely identical. There is no difference between this and the original Jiayu S3 externally, but obviously that processor has been changed, and now we do have a different Android OS in here too. Before we have a look at that, let's take a look around the design and the features of the phone. So at the front we've got a 5.5-inch Full HD 1920 by 1080 display, and below that we've got backlit capacitive buttons to navigate through Android. Now, as you can see from the front, it's quite a basic design. It's quite a traditional Android smartphone design. And we've got these standard size black bezels. The screen runs from bezel to bezel. There are no extra black borders on there. There's no fingerprint scanner. There's no physical home buttons. It's very, very traditional. It looks like a phone from last year, basically. And, you know, design-wise, it is very similar to, say, the Oppo Find 7 and maybe even an older Xiaomi phone. So it is a very traditional looking phone, but it's very clean and it's purposeful. It does what it does. On the back we've got a 13 megapixel Sony IMX214 camera, dual LED flash, we've got the Jiayu logo and an external speaker. On the right hand side we've got a power button and a volume rocker, and yeah, there's no rattles and they feel pretty tight in the body there. 3.5mm headphone jack at the top, micro USB in the base, and there's nothing along the left hand side. There's no SIM tray on here because this is a removable rear panel. So just pop that off. And in here you can see we've got space for dual micro SD cards, we've got SIM cards, space for a micro SD card, we've got a replaceable 3100 mAh battery. You can see it's pretty well made in here, got all these screws hold the rear of the phone on. We've got these really nice 3D printed antennas for the Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, GPS, and also the LTE. So really well made. It's all plastic construction. There is a steel chassis underneath here, but everything that we can see is plastic. There's no aluminium on here. And if we look at the back panel, sorry, move that strap out of the way. If we actually look at the back panel of the Jiayu S3, you can see that it has NFC as well. So that's quite neat. There aren't many phones nowadays that come with NFC or a removable battery. Okay, so let's turn the phone on and take a look at the inside. So already you'll see some differences. The original Jiayu S3 came with a custom ROM based on Android. This now is a stock Android 5.1 Lollipop installation. There's no custom ROM. It's just as Google intended it to be. So that's really, really nice. Much nicer to have a stock Android installation than a half-assed custom ROM, in my opinion anyway. If we go into about the phone, you can see we're running Android 5.1. Just comes up as the Jiayu S3 inside here. You'll notice that the screen is pretty bright. This is actually on its lowest setting, the lowest brightness. It will actually go much, much brighter. It's a very, very bright screen. And I wonder how that will affect the battery life of the phone. But considering it has quite a large battery, I'm not too concerned. Camera app is exactly as you would expect it. It's just a standard Android camera application. Sorry, go back in there. It's just a standard Android app for the camera. And it's not bad actually. There's no phase detection autofocus, there's no laser focus or anything, but the actual focus is quite fast. And, you know, snapping and storing those photos is pretty quick too. I'll have to get it outside to get a good test to see how good the quality of the camera is. I remember with the original Jiayu S3, the camera quality was pretty good. We'll see just how good that it is on the S3 Plus. You can see there quite a clear image. No optical image stabilization or anything on there, but still quite clear. There's no blurring or anything. So not bad. And that's it basically. And being a stock Android installation, there isn't much else to show you in here. I mean, we've got our app drawer, we've got Google Play and all the Google apps in there. Facebook is already built in. We've got all the different Android languages in here, so you can pick this up in any country and get it into your own language. So it's just a stock Android installation on a solidly built phone. These sell now for about $160, $170 online. So 3 GB of RAM, full HD 5.5-inch display, NFC octacore processor, and stock Android installation. I just hope that in the future we'll see Android 6 on the phone and you know, other updates. And I also am quite excited to see what Jiayu will launch in the new year. It'd be interesting to see if they'll bring any Ally phones or anything with a fingerprint scanner out. Anyway, so that's it. That's our hands-on and unboxing of the Jiayu S3 Plus. If you have any questions, please feel free to let me know, and I'll answer them as soon as I can. Thanks for your time. Bye-bye.